See, I'm Anthony Rainey, Zany, whatever you want to call me, with Michael Mottern. We're going to talk about the presidential election of 2024. And how many elections have you voted in now?
Every single one presidential election, mine, and give or take a few gubernatorial elections since the presidential election of 2001 or
Okay.
2000, not 2001. 2001 was 9/11. 2000 was Bush v. Gore. And I was a participant in 2000, of course, because I was 21 years old and I got to vote in that election.
Okay. And what was your thoughts when Biden had stepped aside for Kamala to take on the Democratic nomination?
Well, what happened was I was coming out of my apartment complex getting my mail, and then I got confronted by a Trump supporter on the way home who was the Buffalo transportation driver. What he did was he asked me because I said something that, oh, that's very nice and American. He said, well, are you a Trump supporter? And I said, that depends on who's asking. And as soon as I got home after having a nice conversation with him, simply because like we both realized we were from the working classes and we weren't like high rollers, and even though he was conservative, I convinced him that it wasn't so much the Democrats being communist as much as it is like Americans supporting welfare or not supporting welfare. And he agreed to that. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you're absolutely right." And he's, "Oh, you mean the Democrats aren't coming? You're with the Labor Party of England like that?" Oh my God, he didn't understand. So as soon as I got into the hotel and I turned on the television set, a friend of mine, said, "Is it true Kamala Harris is gonna step up because Biden's stepping aside?" And I was like, "What?" And I got that in my phone, that message on my phone. Right after I had this long conversation with the guy about how the old man's going to get trounced by Trump. Unfortunately, because he's not a Bernie Sanders style progressive, or nobody likes an old man, or he's more a healer than a whatever, and then a dealer. But who cares? Um, I got this message on my phone. I said, it can't be true. It can't. I turned on MSNBC. There it was. And then within 20 minutes, Biden endorsed Kamala Harris, and then the dominoes fell.
Yeah. So, I mean, um, do you see a lot of people supporting Kamala since she decided to take on the nomination?
My message board for Facebook, uh, for our specific group, which attracted a few more than a few members, has lit up with Kamala supporters and anti-Trump rhetoric. Not anti-Trump rhetoric, but pro Kamala, very anti MAGA and very anti 2025 plan
And then what about when you're out in the
or
streets, when you're
Project
walking around?
2025. Excuse me, Project 2025.
What about when you're walking around the street, when you're talking with people? Do you ever, or when you're seeing how people are dressed, if they have like a hat on, or if they have like a lawn sign? There's different indications sometimes when you're interacting in the public. What have you noticed?
This guy in particular, this Trumper that drove me in the taxi, in particular, was accused of being a liberal, libertarian, and a Nazi. but he definitely said, well, more liberal than Nazi, but definitely like libertarian or anti, not so much Nazi, but like anti-American, because he was siding with like too much with the educated left. I think that a lot of people were relieved that Kamala, a very pretty woman and very how do I say, healthy face in the Democratic Party, for being as old as she, not as old as she is, for being her, but for being her age. She's middle age, actually. She's not young. She's middle age. She's older than me. She's way older than me. She's in her 60s, or in her early 60s. I'm not even 50 yet. I'm 45 in September. So her father's a radical professor from Jamaica. Her mother's is a Hindi American woman and very influential in her life. They don't. Dr. Cornel West actually, when he spoke to the West New York Peace Center, said you don't know very much about her father, which is true. You don't really do, other than he's a professor and he's a radical Jamaican. But I'm not so much if he's a Garveyite. I'm not so much. I don't think he is actually. Garveyites tend to be towards on the radical left, far left, and they tend to
Do
be
you
more
think that
militant.
do you think that Kamala and Trump will have a debate?
I hope so. I hope so. because if he goes after her with this Marxist bullshit, Trump's dead in the water. It's like the when the CPUSA had a cartoon of an elephant trying to balance on a paint cans, like balance on top, like paint cans stacked on each other, and these are red paint cans. The guy that's being pushed towards the elephant says, "You want me to balance on that?" And it's called Marxism or McCarthyism. So the McCarthyism end of the Republican Party is going to be like it's just not going to fall on its face, and it's going to look more stupid because there's no way you're going to call if her father's not a Garveyite, but her father is a radical professor. It's not a Bill Ayers thing where it's the Weather Underground was connected with Obama. This is a little bit different. They really don't have anything on her other than the
So
fact that
who do you think will win in November?
according to the Daily Beast, it's a toss up as of today. Is
Yeah,
that a
it's
good
tight.
answer? Is that a good answer?
Yeah, I can't
According
tell
to
you
the
what a good
Daily
answer is.
Beast, now that's not the Buffalo Beast, okay, Bubba? That's the Daily Beast,
I
not the
can't give you a
Buffalo
good
Beast.
I can't
Remember the
tell you what a
Buffalo
good answer
Beast?
is.
Yeah, yeah. Remember the Buffalo Beast? It was a satirical paper. It was just like wackadoo off the wall politics. But no, this is the Daily Beast. This is real news, and this is yeah, it's a toss up as of the article today, and then the headline.
I still think Trump has the upper advantage at this point. Um,
He does
it's
in a
tough
way,
to
yeah,
say.
in a way, yeah, in a way.
It's tough to say, but we'll see what happens. So until then, have fun and stay safe.
Thank
It's
you.
great talking with you.
That's always great talking to you.